What's up, bro? What is up, guys? It's your boy here, JerseyFlex. Go down, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I guarantee you it'll make you 10 times more handsome and juicy. You'll get every single female's attention on the planet if you just hit that red button down below, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned. As you guys know by the title of this video, we are going to be discussing how to prep for a bodybuilding show, something that you guys might be new to. You guys have clicked on the right video. I guarantee you, watching this video from start to finish, you guys are going to know the ins and outs of what to expect for bodybuilding prep for a show, kind of like how it works dieting down leading up to the show. The peak week I'm also going to discuss as well, how to get ready in that final week before the show. Because for those of you guys who have been following me lately on Instagram and social media, you guys know that I am actually prepping for a bodybuilding show December 4th, the Mel Chansey Holiday Classic in Tampa. I'm going to be competing in that, so watch out, ladies, watch your panties, don't drop them. I'm going to be competing December 4th, and I will be giving updates through YouTube and Instagram on how the competition prep is going. So follow me on Instagram if you guys want a little bit more of that. It's going to be in the description down below. I want to kind of start this video off. We are 8 weeks out of this men's physique bodybuilding show. I'm going to start this video off by kind of showing you guys a little physique update. But before any of that, like I mentioned, go down, get juicy, hit that subscribe button. We're gonna roll that intro and get into this topic of discussion, guys. Let's do it. Alright guys, now that you've gone down, crush that subscribe button and made yourselves look juicier, I kind of want to roll this little clip of me kind of doing some poses in my kitchen just because the lighting was right, made the cuts and the muscles and the striations look right. But we are 8 weeks out. There's still a lot of condition work left to do, a lot of stuff, some areas I kind of just want to fill out. We're going to show that just to let you guys know what my current physique is looking like. And then after that clip, we're going to go into detail explaining what you need to do if you're trying to get ready for a bodybuilding show. And keep in mind, whether it's men's physique, classic physique, whatever the division you're competing in may be, the conditioning is the same. It's the same style of conditioning. The only difference is that you may have more muscle, less muscle, whatever may be, but the idea is to preserve all the muscle tissue and strip away the fat without sacrificing that valuable, hard-earned muscle tissue that you guys have worked so hard to add to your skeletal frame. So we're gonna roll that video, let you guys know where my current physique is at, so that way you guys know what I'm dealing with, and then we're gonna discuss what my game plan is for these next 8 weeks. So hopefully you guys can emulate that if you're trying to get ready for a show. So let's roll that clip real quick, show you guys what's up. What is up, guys? I hope you guys enjoyed that little show. We are here in my kitchen where I'm gonna continue this get shredded tutorial basically, and this video goes for bikini competitors up to open class bodybuilders or someone who just wants to look good on the beach, whatever it may be. I'm gonna explain all the ins and outs of getting diced and shredded, so that way you guys can look your leanest, most cut up, best version of yourselves, and kind of explain to you guys the breakdown of the diet that I use when I'm prepping for a bodybuilding show, photo shoot, an event, or anything like that. So let's get started on this explanation. All right, guys. Let's start off this explanation with what I eat on a daily basis. So this is going to be different depending on your body weight, your body type, but just for food for facts, so you guys know what I'm actually eating, just to give you an idea of what I do when I want to be like in top shape, shredded. And this does not mean, depending on your calories, you can also do like flexible dieting, but I find this is the best way, just eating super clean to shrink your organs and kind of just get your stomach flat. And again, Greg Doucette out there, if you do watch this video, I definitely do your anabolic French toast, and I do take all of those satiating foods that you make in your cookbook, 100%. I just don't do it so much when I'm in contest prep, but it is a sustainable diet. The one that, go check him out, Greg Doucette, all of his meals. It's a great way to stay shredded if you want to eat the foods that you enjoy, because that's a diet that you can do for long term. I just, take things to a little bit of an extreme when I'm getting ready for a photo shoot or when I want to tighten up a little extra. So I don't want to discourage anybody by the extremeness of my diet. Anyways, so the diet consists of 6 egg whites, 2 yolks for breakfast, alongside with 2/3 cup of oatmeal. That's meal number 1, and I have a total of 5 meals. Meal number 2, which is mid-morning meal, is 2 scoops of casein protein, whey protein, alongside with either 2 to 4 rice cakes, depending on how I feel with glycogen storage, which we will get into discussing glycogen and how it's important to preserve your muscle while you're losing body fat. That's meal number 2. Meal number 3 is 2/3 cup of jasmine rice, 1 cup of mixed green vegetables like asparagus, broccoli, things like that. Some fiber to kind of fill you up. And fiber, keep note, fiber is very important for keeping yourself full, satisfied, and it's also important for thinning out your skin. It's very important. It kind of gives you that like reptile, transparent bodybuilder kind of skin, which is what you want if you're going for being super shredded. Anyways. Third meal. It was 2/3 cup of jasmine rice, 1 cup of vegetables, alongside with 8 ounces of either ground turkey, plain chicken breast, or 8 ounces of ground beef. I kind of pick and choose and switch up the meats as the days go by, because I just don't want to be eating chicken every damn day or turkey every damn day. So I kind of, switch it up. Plus, it's better to get a variety. I find that the best diets are the ones with variety. So meal number 4 is basically the same as meal number 1. I have 6 egg whites, 2 yolks, alongside with either 2/3 cups of oatmeal, or rice cakes, either or. Simple digesting carb. And that's another thing too that we're going to discuss a little later in the video. Simple digesting foods help your stomach shrink, so it kind of helps your waist get smaller. So that's something to keep note of. And the last and final meal number 5, right before bed, I have 2 scoops of casein protein, alongside with 28 grams of almonds and 1 bag. This is the one thing I always do from Greg Doucette, no matter if I'm shredding out for a show or I'm just doing like my maintenance flexible dieting. 1 bag of Smart Pop. And the reason why I keep Smart Pop is because it's very satiating. It's right before bed. It's kind of going to eliminate any kind of late night cravings I have for food. And it's packed with fiber. So that way the fiber, again, like I said, good for digestion, filling up your stomach, and, makes you crap out all the junk inside your intestines, so it shrinks your stomach and makes your waist appear smaller, because you want wide shoulders, tiny waist, so you could look handsome. So that's basically a rundown of the foods that I'm eating on a daily basis. So that being the general rundown of the foods that I'm eating, let's discuss how it basically goes when I'm like in contest prep, dialed in, what you guys should do leading up to a bodybuilding show. And again, you guys can do this whole diet thing whether you're just trying to be shredded on the beach or just look good in general, to kind of just get your body fat down. It's not a sustainable diet. The diet is more for bodybuilding and photo shoots. The title and the thumbnail says how to get shredded. Shredded is not maintainable forever. It's only for like photo shoots and things like that. So, okay. So step number one, this was actually taught to me by a professional Mr. Olympia bodybuilding judge, which I'm not allowed to give out his name because he wasn't even supposed to meet with me, because he went out of his way to meet with me. And I'm not really supposed to give his name because that's not good for his, professional image that he met with, an amateur. But he did it out of respect for me because he knows my uncle and, whatever. So this is a little secret for you guys. 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil. Flaxseed oil contains enzymes in it that eat away at brown fat molecules. It's a highly potent thermogenic, and it's really good for helping strip away body fat. So, that being said, you guys still have to do your cardio. You guys still have to be in a caloric deficit. You're not going to lose body fat just because you have flaxseed oil. It helps with what you're doing. So that being said, I have 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil every single morning to help with what I'm doing and strip away body fat, more easily. So that being number 1. And now let's explain what you guys have to do to preserve your hard-earned muscle tissue as you are dieting down. Your muscles are not really made out of protein. Yes, the muscle fibers themselves, the sacs of tissue, the sarcomere, it is made of protein, but what's inside of that muscle? When you hear muscle bellies, you have to keep your muscle bellies full. Full of what? It primarily is composed of water, about 50 to 60% water. Your muscles are water. So we have my gallon jug here with my amino acids. I drink minimum 1 gallon of water every single day to preserve my muscle tissue as I'm stripping away body fat. Again, it goes in conjunction with aminos such as L-glutamine, which is great, and things like that. So drink plenty of water to help preserve muscle tissue. That's key number 1, especially in competition prep. Number two, glycogen. So your glycogen stores. Your muscles store a hormone called glycogen. If you ever heard a bodybuilder say, I'm feeling kind of flat, that means the muscles are not engorged with water and glycogen and they're kind of flat. It makes you weaker and ultimately leads to muscle breakdown, which muscle loss. You don't want to lose muscle. So, and another thing to keep in mind, which I should have mentioned from the very beginning, you don't want to lose the body fat too fast. You want to pace yourselves. Notice bodybuilders don't get shredded in 2 weeks. They prep for a show in a total of like 6, 8, 9, 10, even 12 weeks. Some even 16 weeks because they want to slowly lose the body fat. We're talking 1 to 2 max pounds a week. More like 0.5 to 1 pound of body fat every week. The slower you lose the body fat, the better you preserve the muscle in the long run. So the ways to do that is by keeping your glycogen stores full and keeping the muscles hydrated. Now that I've said that, how do you keep the glycogen stores full? Because as I mentioned, it's blood sugar hormone. So you're probably wondering, okay, I'm eating sugar, that's going to get me fat. There's a secret way, not so secret, but secret to me, now revealed to you, of how to do this. It's called a rotation diet. This is what you guys have been waiting for this entire video. It's called the rotation diet, or in other words, some people refer to it as carb cycling. So, if you remember from the beginning of the video, as I mentioned, I have 5 meals a day, okay? So I'll explain how I do, and there's a reason why I told you guys kind of what I eat throughout the day. 5 meals a day. So you have day number 1. This is the rotation diet. Day number 1, I'll have carbs on every single meal. Day number 2, I will only have carbs at 4 meals. Day number 3, I'll have carb at 3 meals. But rather than having carbs in your first 3 meals and starving yourself in the last 2, space it out. Have carbs in your first meal, no carbs in your second meal, carbs in your third meal, no carbs in the fourth, and carbs in your last meal. So that way it's spaced out. The lowest I go is carb only on 3 meals, so 2 meals without carbs. I don't really go lower than that leading up to the show. I'm pretty lucky that I can get away with having some carbs and still be able to strip away body fat. Thank God, because I would be starving myself. Some people out there are less fortunate. The rotation diet, you can draw it all the way to no carbs a day. And some people do that, unfortunately. They'll have carb on all meals, day 1, carb at 4, carb at 3. Day number 4, they only have carb at 2 meals. Day number 5, carb only at 1 meal. And the last day, no carbs. Then, once the carb cycle is over, or the rotation diet rather, you start back at day 1, carb at all meals. Now, you're asking yourself, what's the purpose of this? I'm still in a caloric deficit every single day. The purpose of it is to strip away the body fat, but because you're not having no carbs, some people do 100 grams of carbs every single day for a whole week. You shouldn't be doing that. The purpose of the rotation diet is that you're having carbs, more carbs on one day, less the next, and then you bump the carbs back up. That way, the stores of glycogen or blood sugar stay full inside of your muscle. That way, you preserve the muscle tissue throughout the entire cut, and it keeps the metabolism revved. You still have strength in the gym to lift weights, and you do this accordingly. Now, let's discuss cheat meals, because there comes a point where you get lean too fast and you can't even control it. So when this happens, bodybuilders have a term that's referred to as refeed. You refeed your body. What this does is it adds a little bit more, it's a caloric surplus, so that way, or commonly known to you guys on social media as a cheat meal. What this does is the caloric surplus gives you more calories for you to lean out with. And it also spikes your metabolism and this and that, but you should be doing cheat meals, rather, accordingly. If you're not ready or you're not flat, you should not be having a cheat meal. Like, I see guys having cheat meals 2 to 3 times a week. In reality, you should be having a cheat meal maybe once a week, more like once every 2 weeks, once a month. That's really how it is, depending on what type of genetics you have. Some people are blessed out there, but 99% of you guys should not be having cheat meals 3 days a week. So basically, this is the diet, the whole, game plan that I follow leading up to the bodybuilding show. But the week of the bodybuilding show, you want to put the sprinkles on top, the cherry on top. You want to walk on that stage looking engorged with glycogen, muscles just bursting out. And there is a way to put that cherry on top. It is known as peak week. Yeah, peak week. So that is something that a lot of people struggle with. Even professional bodybuilders struggle to hit the mark on their peak week. So I'm going to explain to you guys what I personally do during peak week so I can maximize what I look like. Now, keep in mind that peak week is not going to make you shredded. It's only going to enhance the work that you put in all the weeks of prepping. You have to already be lean, very lean, close to shredded in order for peak week to work. So it's not a magic fix. It just makes you more of what you are. So that's what the whole prep is for. The prep is to strip away the fat. The peak week is to put the cherry on top. Now, let's explain what peak week is. You ever put a sponge out in the sun and it gets dried up and shriveled? That's basically what you're trying to do to your muscles. As I explained before, your muscles are composed of water and glycogen. So you're depleting. It's called a depletion stage. You're depleting your muscles of water and glycogen so they can become shriveled up, kind of just like a sponge sitting in the sun. Now, what happens if you take that sponge that's now dry and shriveled and throw a bucket of water on it? It becomes plump, juicy, and fat. That's right, it swells up. And that's what you're trying to do on the last couple days before the show. So, let's explain peak week. The cherry on top, you're basically, as I mentioned a little earlier, depletion stage. So, leading up to the show, you're kind of doing your rotation diet, carbs at all meals, keeping the carbs low, keeping the protein high to preserve everything. Then comes 5 days before the bodybuilding show. 5 days before the miracle day. So, you begin depleting by lowering the carbs. So, for instance, the first two days of that week, let's say it's a 5-day peak week. The first 2 days, you'll have carbs only at 3 meals. Then the third day, you'll have carbs only on 2 meals. Then the last 2 days, you have 0 carbs. 0 carbs for 2 days. Only getting your carbs from vegetables. Then, the night before the bodybuilding show, something magical happens. You're going to be having sugar. A lot of it, because now you're a dry sponge. Your muscles have shriveled up like the dry sponge. You want to inflate them. So you begin having things like little Jolly Rancher candies, spoons of honey, raw honey, and this is like the clean approach. A lot of bodybuilders have like a burger and fries to kind of inflate everything. You're eating junk food, basically. So that way you can make the muscles pop out. And a lot of bodybuilders don't fill out soon enough, so they'll just eat a bunch of junk food and walk onto the stage bloated. So that is something to keep in mind. Some people have to begin refeeding or filling out 1 day before the show. It's not really the night before. For some people it can be different. It all depends on the person. So keep that in mind. You don't want to walk out on a bodybuilding stage bloated. So you're going to be having like candies. And the day of your bodybuilding show, you're really not eating any protein. If you eat chicken, it's not going to do anything for you. It's just going to make you bloated. You're not trying to build muscle. You should have already built your muscle way before prep. You're just trying to fill out the muscles. And you're basically eating nothing but sugar. Rice cakes, candies. I don't know if I would do donuts because that could make you bloated. Just real like Gatorade, a Snickers bar. Nothing that'll make you bloated though. You want to stay away from that. You just want to fill out the muscles. And that's basically how you do it. And you look your best. And it increases vascularity. And something I should mention too, because your body went through such a deep depletion, what happens now is overcompensation. Your body has no glycogen in its muscle stores, so it overcompensates. You eat the candies, you eat the sugars, and your body's going to overcompensate because it's like, oh my God, we've been in survival mode for so freaking long. It's going to fill out those muscles even more so. It's not like you carb up before a soccer game and you did really well. It's more than that because your body went 2 days with no carbs and it's going to absorb every sugar like a freaking vacuum. It's going to overcompensate and your muscles are just going to swell up. So that is basically how that goes. And now during peak week as well, because your nutrition is so low, you should not be training as you would normally train. You're not training to get your muscles sore because you're not eating enough for those muscles to be able to recover. So in other words, you're going to be training more so for a pump. Maintenance, you want to do high reps, low weights, just to maintain the muscle mass and get it swole and, get some blood circulation and nutrients into it. You're not so much trying to get yourself sore. you know, because that's muscle breakdown. You're not going to be able to recover with such little, you know, in your diet. That is something to keep in mind. So, I think I've kind of covered all the checkpoints I wanted to discuss in this video to help you guys be aesthetic. Go down, crush that subscribe button. This is JerseyFlex. Let me know in the comments down below if there's anything that you guys want to know, anything that you guys might have felt that I left out in this video. Message me, DM me on Instagram or Snapchat, wherever it may be. I will always do my best to respond with any questions. If I left anything out, I'm sorry guys, but you guys can leave that in the comments down below and you can see it in the next video. Go down, subscribe. As you guys know, let's roll that freaking intro. You heard me? It's JerseyFlex. See you guys. No!